Salutations, Dufos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another presentation, a special presentation. I'm moving full speed ahead with these conversations. I call them interviews, but they're really conversations. I'm speaking to people that empower me. I empower them. They uplift me. I uplift them. And it's all love and positive energy. And having said that, I have someone that you need to meet. I can't wait to bring this person to you because there's a lot of glamour and ambiance in this person's life, and I can't wait to talk to them about it. So without further ado, I would like to introduce all of you to Mr. Edward Tapia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you? Happy Saturday.
I'm doing good. I'm recovering from COVID. It's just, as I was just telling you before we started recording, that I'm fine in the day, and then it's like the devil. It comes at night, 8, 9 o'clock at night. It comes on in and takes you down. But I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Plenty of liquids, and it's good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. You know, I'm trying to keep myself in the new year and the building a better version of myself. I think that's where I always try to, when it is a new year, it's what can I do better this year compared to last year?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, some people say, new year, new you. I said, I wrote new year, better queen. But for me, but for me, the queen she's always like, it's always an evolution is what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right.
Evolution. So it's not like we stop and hit reset,
And it's like I was telling someone on Instagram the other day that every day is a new day, right? Every day renews, every day is a different experience. And so that's how we grow in life. And so if I were to be like, oh my God, 2021, it was horrible, it was this, it was that, then I feel like I'm not growing and I'm not learning from whatever I went through in my life in that whole entire year. When you reach to that point where you like, I'm building a better version of myself, and you stop to think about the good, because not everything is bad in life. There are things that are good. You learn from them and you grow from it, you move forward, and it's life's journey.
Yeah, and you know what, too? I did a podcast the other day, and the divine was speaking to me, and, I'm going to bring this in because the point is this. Like you said, it's always a journey. It's always an evolution. You don't know what exactly comes next, but you have an idea that you need to be your best self when it is presented.
Yes.
So I did a podcast, and I was talking about the fact that, for me in my life, the divine said to me, "You're not like me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, what do you mean I'm not like you?" And he said these words to me, and this is the first time outside of the podcast, but he said, "You are out here trying to save people." And he said, "I'm not in the business of saving people." I said, "What do you mean?" Because, I'm not in church now, but what we was taught and indoctrinated with. But he said, "Let me clarify." He said, "I don't save people. I heal people." He said, "And I don't save them from what is going on in their lives because I understand the value of the lesson." He said to me that he doesn't interfere because the lessons that we go through make us better, make us more impactful, make us more powerful, uplift us, make us stronger. And then inevitably, we are able to use that lesson and that power and strength to help somebody else.
That's amen to that.
Exactly.
That is powerful right there.
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep when he said it to me. I was down with COVID, but it was like, I was like, okay, all right. So,
and when you think about it, and I'm sorry, you think about it, it makes total sense. Because how can you speak to something if you've never experienced it, if you never went through it? How can you talk about it? You can empower other people when you've already been through it. You can say, you know what, I went through it. Look at me where I was. Look at me now, which is part of my story. This is where I was, but I'm no longer there. And I can help you the same way I was able to overcome it, to overcome your circumstances.
Yeah. I did this long rant about my following. I basically was breaking up with my following. I'm like, you guys are gawking at me, but you're not giving into my storehouses kind of thing. You got to pay me. It costs my services, et cetera, et cetera. And I got upset, and I've been saying it. And this is the first interview that I'm going to add an addendum. I was upset because I'm like, I reached out to other creators and other thought leaders to get help with monetizing my platforms. I needed help with that. I'm a workaholic. So I didn't, and I admitted my ignorance. I didn't know everything. I don't know everything.
We don't, that's right.
So I reached out to other influencers and no one would help me. They were hiding the steps. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. And my attitude was, okay, well, they want to see you do well, but not better than them. But what you just said sparked me to tell this story. But what happened was the divine said to me, baby, they couldn't give you the information you needed because they didn't have it. They didn't start from rock bottom. They didn't go through the trenches. They came in and they got all these extra people, management and this and that and generational wealth. They don't know what it's like to start at the bottom. So they couldn't give you something they didn't have because they didn't know. And I was like, yeah, it was crazy. So
that's what reality. You were like, I got it. I got it now. I understood.
Okay. No, get this. I'm the queen of shade, but the divine reads me quite often. Like they don't even understand. Like the divine and my ancestors, they read me very often. And I'm like, oh, and I love that because it's comical. It's not always serious, it doesn't have to always be so serious. Yes, what I do is serious, but it's nice for them to treat me like that. Cause it's like a friend, a friend that comes to you like, oh girl, you gonna give it to me again. And they give it to you, they give it to you. So I like kind of that nature, that banter that I have with the divine. And most people are like, oh my God, God don't speak like that. Well, I don't know what he's doing in your life, but this is what he's doing in mine. So now into you, what are you wearing? Because I love that top and the hat and the glasses.
Well, this is a vest embroidered in gold.
Yes.
Got some embroiders and it got some really nice AB stones in the top.
Nice.
And some black and gold glasses with a nice kind of like a Kango derby type black hat. Because I think, when I thought about this interview, I'm like, you have to be what you say you are. And one thing that I loved about your podcast and I loved about everything that I saw, you are the source of your brand and you are your brand. You are the face of your brand. So it's important for us to, even if it's virtual, to look the part. If I say I'm a model, I'm a singer, I'm an actor, whatever it is that I say I am, I need to present that in every aspect and look the part. And so when I was preparing for this interview, I'm like, what am I going to wear? I literally just ordered this piece for me to wear for this interview. It wasn't even in my house. I didn't even have it.
Oh my God. But you know what? That's a perfectionist. You're like, listen here. Like I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate that you were even willing to do that for me, because that speaks to, like I said, 6 years of not making money. I made so much more. If you understand what I'm saying, I gained so much more. The true, authentic respect and appreciation from my peers, because they're going to find out you're not just an onlooker. You're in this business and you've been in this business probably longer than I have. And I want them, as we get into it, to understand that. So when you are willing to do that for me and you are who you are, and we haven't told them who you are yet, but we get into it. Like, I appreciate that. It humbles me. It humbles me so much. So with that being said, Mr. Tapia, tell us what you do for a living.
So I am an international model. I've been modeling for about 12, 13 years. Mm-hmm. Started when I was 35, which is the biggest part of my portion of you can be any age, you can do anything you want in life, doesn't matter what age, because age is just a number. And I saw a TV show on Spanish television. I was watching a soap opera back then called The Face of Analia in Spanish, and every day there was a commercial. Want a model? You want to sing? You know, come up and call the phone number. Call dial blah 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 number. It's in Philadelphia at the DoubleTree Hotel. Make a long story short, every day that I saw that commercial, at the time I was married, I had 4 kids.
Yes.
And there was something inside of me that was like, you need to pick up the phone and call. Mm-hmm. But every time I saw that commercial, there was another part that said, you're not good enough. Look at you, you know, you have a cleft lip, you have a cleft palate, you're not 6 foot blah, you're not, you know, you don't have the body for it to be a model that they're looking for. And you're 35 years old. I mean, all that was just kind of hitting me all at once. And you're married and you got kids. And you know what? Friday of that week, I am a firm believer to speak to yourself. Yep. I know people think I'm crazy, but Edward Tapia talks to himself, guys. I will walk into the mirror and talk to myself, self-talk, because whatever you say to yourself speaks life, and you're putting life into yourself. And so I said, you know what, Edward Tapia, the worst thing that's going to happen is that they're going to tell you that you're not good enough. We don't want you. But you're not going to know unless you get your Puerto Rican behind and drive to Philadelphia, and get to that casting. So I picked up the phone, and the lady from the casting said, you know, be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. Are you a model? I said, yes, I am. Child, I didn't even know what the runway was. Okay. She said, you're a model? I'm like, yes, I am. She goes, well, when you come tomorrow, we want to see a model. I said, oh, don't worry. When I get there tomorrow, you're going to see a model, okay? All right. So I called my friend. I got my hair done at the time. I put on some nice fitted jeans, some nice dress shoes. You know how we do, and a nice top shirt. And I showed up. They gave me a script that I had to learn for a commercial. They asked me to sing because I told them that I also sing. And then they gave me runway walk. And make a long story short, when I was done, they brought me to another room. Have you ever modeled before? No. Have you ever done a commercial before? I said, no. They were like, well, you know what? I didn't know that the lady that was there was the owner of Barbizon School of Modeling from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And she was the main person running. And you know, Barbizon is very well known. And at the time, her school had already been around for like 30 plus years. And so she says, you know what? I don't know, but you just have something. You just have something that we like, and we'll see you next week. And so I was 6 months on just runway music. And at the time, Lady Gaga had come out with that song, Bad Romance, and Gaga. We walked to that song for 8 hours. By the time I was driving home, by the time I was driving home, I was like, it was just, you know, and everybody that was there in that runway class and the commercial classes that I went through, and the learning how to act, and the dialogues and monologues, and the runway was special because they brought Curtis Davis, an amazing Black American man from New York, and he was our runway coach. Yes. And he said to us one day, because we were in the line and everyone was younger than me. Yes. Like these kids were like 18, 20, and here I am 35 at Barbizon, runway walking with a whole bunch of youngsters. And Curtis Davis said, you know what? This is not a joke. This is runway class. And he said, I am tired of people saying that I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm a model, and I'm this and I'm that, but they don't look the part when you look at them. He said, you have to look the part. And when you start looking the part, people are going to say that you're conceited, that you're full of yourself. You know what? I took that to heart from Curtis Davis. And I went home, and my ex-wife thought I was crazy, because I kid you not, I went to all these clothes and I started throwing clothes away. And she was like, what are you doing? I'm taking this to the Goodwill somewhere to the nation because I have to change the way I dress. And I literally took that to heart because I was given the opportunity to live in a moment.
Yes.
Someone believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Someone saw something in me and said, you have something that we like, you know. And my first time getting my makeup done, Jordan Liberty, which is a very well-known makeup artist, he does makeup for the stars. Yeah. He was doing my makeup, and while he was doing my makeup for a shoot, he was outlining the things that he felt that were nice about me.
Wow.
And when he got to my lip, I lost it. Like, I just bawled, because he was like, I couldn't believe that somebody was doing my makeup and they're telling me that I have a nice lip and I have a nice this and a nice. When he got to that part, because it is a sensitive part in my life of what I went through, all the surgeries.
Right.
The fact that he was telling me, you know what, you really have nice lips. I do. And it's that thing that when you don't feel beautiful and when you don't see your own beauty in yourself, somebody else is going to see something in you and going to see that inner beauty and the outer beauty that you have and pointed out in you. And that alone was sufficient to make me go into another level.
Yeah.
The moment and made me look at my lip in a different light.
Yes.
It was life-changing.
Oh my God. You know what? You and I have something in common. At 19 years old, I started out at a little school on the main line. Do you know what that school was?
Oh my gosh. Barbizon?
Barbizon. Yeah. Yep. It was Barbizon. It was Barbizon. And I was there, and get this, they believed in me and taught me so much, but I actually left them to work with a production company.
Wow.
I left them to work. They were so angry with me. They
Oh
were
my
so angry with me. They were like, you have future and potential. The owner, I remember when I walked in and we were doing like a mall presentation in the middle of the mall, and I had just gotten my hair twisted, and I walked in, no makeup. I was doing the regiment that they had gave us, the astringent and all of that stuff. And she walked over to me, because this was the first time meeting the owner. And she literally took her hand and tilted my face to see my side profile and was like, my God, you're beautiful. I had never had anyone say that before. Oh my God. It was life-changing. It was life-changing. And something that I always remembered, because you said something here too, they taught, like my instructor, his name was Alfonso Lee. And he was very, very well known. He was a physician's assistant by trade, by profession. But when I tell you, that man could walk a runway, that man could show a suit, that man could do those turns. And I mean, he didn't play. And I remember when he told us, he said, if you're going to get into this business, get rid of your significant other right now, because they're not going to be able to handle the attention and the attention to detail, and the way that people fawn over you, and they're going to want you to have to choose. And I carried that to me, like, I'm 39, I was 19. I carry that with me now. And you hinted, you said, I was in a relationship. I'm glad that you were able to have a relationship while you still worked. But I remember Barbizon. Barbizon was one of the best experiences I ever had. They taught me, how to tie ties and how to do my makeup and how to do my nails and like all of that stuff. And people don't understand that as a model, your business is taking care of yourself.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And you just hit a point that I want to go back to about relationship. Mm-hmm. When I started modeling and changing what I looked like, my appearance, my hair, my dress, it did hinder my relationship, because now I was very churchy, and so I was very crew cut, short hair,
right?
Very preppy looking, because I was raised Pentecostal. So
yes.
I'm sure, and I found myself at that moment where I had to make a decision between my happiness and my marriage.
Right.
And when I found myself at that point, we were married for 18 years. But I found myself against the wall, because being born the way I was born, people don't understand that your life circumstances, it molds you.
Yeah.
But when you get to that point that you're reaching something that was meant for you and that you were aspiring and you wanted to have, and you want your reality, and then you have someone that doesn't understand your journey, that doesn't understand why you are the way you are, why you're feeling the way you feel. Because sometimes, my ex-wife, I met her when I was 15 and she was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a really strong bond. But it's still not the same when I would walk, I would go to places with her. She's gorgeous. And people would
Yeah.
be like, well, how do you marry? The Bible talks about people when they joke about you, but they're really speaking the truth.
Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
Psalms and the book of Proverbs speaks about that.
Right.
A lot of people say jokes about you, but they're really not joking. They're really meaning
Right.
what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you can't always accept the words that people throw at you, because some words come with malice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always felt uncomfortable and I always felt ugly next to her. And I was always trying to explain that to her. I know you love me the way she married me when I was still going through cleft palate surgeries.
Yeah.
She married me when I didn't even look the way I look now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was still, for me personally, it wasn't even about her, it was me. I needed to love myself. I needed to wake up every day loving the skin that I live in, loving who I was as a man. I needed to be able to stand up and look in the mirror and say, Edward, you're gorgeous, you're amazing. And when I learned that, Barbizon made me learn that, not by you have to learn this, it was the way they treated me. It was the fact that I got a handbook and the handbook told me that I got to, I was like, what? Girl, they talk about everything from your nails to your eyebrows to your hair to your toes to your shower. You got to shower. And it's not that we don't shower every day, right? But it was the concept that Barbizon is like, you know what? You want to be a model, you want to be in this industry, you have to look the part and you have to take care of who you are. And even in the Bible, it talks about taking care of the temple of the Holy Spirit, your body. So it's not like, Esther, my favorite story in the Bible is Queen Esther. Before she became queen, she was in bathing and in perfumes for a whole year before she even went before the king. And how you got people talking about, oh, I don't wear deodorant, I don't do this, and I don't do that. So even in the Bible times, people took care of themselves. They took care of their skin. They took care of appearance. And so Barbizon just did exactly that. And it was hard when I got to the point where my marriage was falling apart, and it fell apart. And we went separate ways, but I learned to be happy with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And who I become. And when you learn that, you do not care what people say. You don't care what anybody's opinions are. You hear them and you let them roll with the wind.
Yes. Yes. That is something. And what's so crazy is there was banging, and that's what I was doing. I was using my phone to tell my people, whoever that is, y'all need to quit the banging. So that's what I looked away when I was mentioning that. But that no matter how many ways I tried to slice it, what that man said was true about this industry. It was true. I have never, get this, not for lack of trying, not for lack of asking, I have never had a boyfriend. Ever. I've met men, and it was situations and situationships and circumstances and sexual and things like that. But no, I have never, because I started Barbizon at 19. It was in my head. And every time I didn't want to relax and cuddle and do this or do that, because I wanted to be up practicing my turns, like doing what I had to do to get to the next level. Now, me being who I am now, it wasn't conducive. It wasn't conducive. And that is, I don't think we talk enough about that. People look at us and they say, we're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Me, I'm so beautiful. But they don't understand the sacrifices that you and I have to make to maintain not just this look, but the lifestyle that is appealing to a client.
That's right.
They don't understand that.
No, they don't
understand that.
And
it's so crazy because, when I was 22 years old, so I started Barbizon at 19. At 22, I got the chance to go to Paris to be a model.
Wow, that's amazing.
I was there 6 months. It was the hardest thing I ever did. I had to come home. It was so hard. It was the hardest. When I tell you it was the hardest thing I'd ever done, because I too came from the church. And then growing up and realizing that I was homosexual and, having my family turn their back on me and then inevitably put me out. I was homeless in America, but I went to Paris and had a place to stay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Homeless here, had a place there. And it was like, I and all of my friends from that time, even homeless, Edward, I took care of myself. I didn't need a bunch of men. I didn't do all of that. Like, I need my skin, and then, you know how you practice your runway. I walk like that today everywhere I'm going. It's been 20 years. I was always practicing and always, trying to get closer to what it is that I wanted to do. And it was not easy. It was not easy. People, I know I hear banging. I thought it was my brother. It must be my neighbors. But this was what I wanted to do. And they don't talk to you about all of the losses. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of family. I lost a lot in the pursuit of my happiness. And yes, go ahead, please expound.
No, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day that after 6 months, I went into my first runway show.
Yeah.
I was backstage and I saw the lights and I'm like, Edward, okay, so I have my makeup on, because they do makeup for men, more subtle than they do for the females, for you guys. And I'm like, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, my mentality was like stop to sob and cry about it. And I'm like, no, you stay in the moment and live in the moment. And it was the crying of happiness that wanted to come out when you reach something you never thought you could reach.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a whole audience of family members there.
Right.
I have lost a lot of family members and friends and things like that don't really connect with me or even believe in what I do or approve of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need anyone to approve of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my one day, because my mother is very Pentecostal too. And I said, you know what, Mom? Stop a moment and think about how I was born. You raised a cleft palate child that you had to take 3 and 4 buses in New York City, and you had to walk blocks to go from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. You had to take me through surgery after surgery after surgery. My mouth, my teeth, my heart murmur, and my ears, and I mean, I looked like a predator. This whole thing was completely open.
Oh wow!
So don't you think? And I said to her, don't you think that what I'm living right now is God?
Yeah.
That he's the only one that could have given me the opportunity for me to even open my voice to sing and speak, for me to even be able to stand up on a runway show and say, you know what, I'm not 5'12" or 1, but I am on this runway and I'm representing this Canadian designer, and I'm representing this LA designer, and I'm on this runway. I don't have a six-pack, but you know what? I don't need to have it. I have everything that I need to be the most amazing version of myself, and I'm going to break the barriers on these runways. Don't you think that God is that much more powerful and wonderful to be able to put your own son in a light that you didn't even think could happen? I mean, I didn't even have speech till I was 5 years old. And most children that are born with a cleft lip don't speak at all. And some of them, they have a fuzziness to their speech.
Yeah.
And they can't speak, they don't speak clear. So I wanted her to understand, independently if you believe it or not, or if you want to accept it or not, God has allowed me to be who I am.
Yeah.
And to moments, because I am touching somebody's life. I went to church every day of the week, and I sat in the pews and I sang, and I was suicidal. And people were so wrapped up on my appearance that I looked the part. I call it the Christian costume, the Pentecostal costume. If you look the part, you have the right pants on, and you have the right shirt on, you have the right bow tie, and you got your Bible underneath your arm, you are perfect. You are Holy Ghost filled. No, ma'am. There's a lot of people that are going to church every day, and I said this before in another interview, and they are suicidal. They don't love themselves. They're not happy with who they are. They're miserable. Take a moment to think about the people that sit in these pews that truly do not know the God that they say they serve, that they do not know what it is to live. Because the Bible says, and I know this is not even a Christian interview, and it doesn't have to be, but we're speaking about life in general. And the scriptures do speak life into us. And it does say that the joy of the Lord is my strength. But the joy of the Lord is my strength. Why am I miserable? And why am I living in a suicidal life? And I had to let go. I had to let go. And when you go through what I'm saying, I'm sure that you understand me to 100% more than what I probably know. When you go through suicide and you go through mental issues and you don't tell nobody, and you rise up to the top by yourself, and you conquer like the queen that you are, like the king that you are, can't nobody tell you nothing. Because nobody called you, nobody sat down with you, and nobody cried with you, nobody knew what you went through. But there's only one supernatural person that was there watching you, guiding you every way through, and made you get to the end. And so at this point in my life, when I wrote my book, Look at Me Now, which is basically saying I was here and look at me now, this is who I am now. I never thought I would write a book in the middle of a pandemic. And I said, you know what, Edward Tapia, you are not going to stay here going through mental issues because you can't go to the street, because you can't go to the store, because you can't go here and you can't go there. I'm going to need you to get it together. And you know what I did? Lit my house up like a crazy nut. I done turned on the Christmas trees. I set my table up like I had you, your mama, your cousin, your grandmother, everybody coming to my house for dinner. I threw all the china, and I made my house look like I was having a whole party coming in. And I took things that were positive, and I lit my walls, and I put, you have to free yourself through your atmosphere.
Yes.
If that makes sense. If you build freedom, that is going to come inside of you and give you life. When you wake up in the morning, you turn around, you see a positive message. You go to your kitchen, you see another positive message. You go to everywhere you walk inside your house. If you have positivity, that alone will give you strength to keep moving forward.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And see, this is the thing that people are missing. My life wasn't a cakewalk. I started in the projects. And I continued to climb from the projects to the suburbs, to college, to being medically withdrawn from college because of mental illness, fighting and battling for that. In the Black church and in the Black home, they didn't understand therapy. They didn't understand that I needed medication. They didn't understand that I needed that kind of support. So coming home, having that devastation, then realizing, identifying as a homosexual, I was cast out. So I was cast out to the street with mental health issues and disorders, and out there as a newbie, never having been. And, I get upset sometimes about it because I just want the people that did that, who now have seen me survive, I want them to understand the gravity of the situation. I'm like, sweetheart, when you put someone out on the street and they don't know how to survive, you're sending them to their death.
Right.
I just want them, I don't even want their apologies. I want them to understand that you sent me to my death and God gave me life right out here on these streets.
Amen.
Everything I ever needed, every person I ever needed. It makes me, oh my God, it makes me so emotional. Because we're sitting here and we're having a beautiful conversation about overcoming. And people look at us and they don't know what we have had to go through to get to where we are. They don't know. And I'm so thankful that I get to talk to you, because I was very excited about this because, I have all of these gifts, shaman, prophet, oracle, seer. I knew this was going to happen. I knew what I was getting into today. And I couldn't wait because the divine and my ancestors, they said, this man has a message. And this message is for you and everyone that watches this. So with that, tell me about your book, What was that book about? What is that book about?
The book is at basically 20 people.
Yes.
That have had different types of circumstances and what their journey was like prior to COVID and during COVID began.
Mm-hmm.
What they went through and how they overcame, where they're headed. I was home minding my own business. I had met this woman at a pageant in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
She said to me one day of the pageant, it was like a 3-day pageant, and she's like, you know, you're gonna write a book one day. And I'm like, oh, okay, I am. Oh, yeah. She goes, yeah, you're gonna write a book one day. But you know, people tell you stuff like that. You know, you run into people one day. You know, when I used to sing, people would offer me, oh my God, your voice is amazing. I want to give you a contract. And of course, 30, 40 years later, I never saw the contract from anybody.
Listen, I know the feeling.
Stop, still waiting for the contract. Look, where's the contract? And so I thought to myself, you know, oh, okay, it's one of those again, you know, yeah, I'm gonna write a book. Okay, 3 years went by. And here comes 2020, and I'm sitting at home, and she messages me, hey, we're putting together a collection of authors, and the book is titled Look Now, and I think you would be a good fit for this book.
Mm.
So I was like, me? She's like, yeah, you. This is your time.
Yeah.
And so then I found myself sitting down writing my biography. And at first I was cutting pieces, but I wanted people to get to know my story and Edward's journey because I grew up in the projects
Mm-hmm.
in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always embarrassing and you can probably relate, when you said, oh, where do you live? Oh, I live in the projects. And people frowned upon that when you said, I live in the projects. But I tell people, where you live and where you came from does not define who you are, where you're headed, and what your destiny is in life. Because I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the ghetto, and I'm not ashamed to say I grew up in the ghetto. It don't mean that I'm ghetto. It don't mean that it does not mean that I'm not educated, because I'm educated. I got my degree. I went to school. That was just part of my story.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of, we're project kids, and we're not ashamed about it, because you know what? We were project kids, but it taught us to be humble, because we didn't grow up in a crystal palace or in a glass house. And being in the projects where mom and dad had to work to be able to pay the bills, and you know, New York is expensive. Philly is expensive.
As much as New York.
Of course. And so I was able to narrate that and go back to my roots of this child that was born at Beth Israel Medical Center in 14th Street in New York, and how I went through my suicidal stages, and how I came out of that, and how I became a international model. And because I'm not saying that I'm just an international model, I've traveled to Canada. I've lived in Montreal for 3 to 4 weeks, and I filmed a reality show called The Fashion Hero with Brooke Hogan, which is Hulk Hogan's daughter, that many people know who she is. Yeah. And I've been published in magazines, and I started putting all that into the book. And as I was writing this, I'm like, oh my God, it's almost like this is who you are.
Yep.
This is who you've become.
Yep.
Embrace, love it. And so the book also talked about when my dad passed away. I was 17 years old. It happened unexpectedly. So the Look at Me Now is looking at my whole trajectory, as well as other 19 people, what they went through, what the amazing and the beauty of the book, because you have 20 people's different lives that are going to impact you in your life with their story. And every one of them have an amazing story to share. And so then I moved on to talking about how I handled the pandemic. At the time, I had 4 kids in my house. They were in high school. My job was like, you gotta go home, and trying to juggle between having the kids and having my job, and the teachers are calling me. It was hard to juggle. But listen, God is not going to give you something that you can't handle. And what happens to us many times as human beings is we get so wrapped up in our circumstances. We get wrapped up so much in our problems, in our trials and tribulations, that we forget that we have an inner warrior inside of us, and we have a divine connection with our creator that can help us come out of any situation. We get so wrapped up in our self-pity that we don't allow ourselves to grow and get somewhere and become somebody. And it's sad, but we have to learn how to move past that. People are still wrapped up in COVID. Listen, I'm home, and guess what I did? I ordered bands, protein shake. I'm making my own gym at home. I've not
Right.
in years. I'm not gonna stay here and stay miserable. You know what else I did in 2020?
What?
Besides, I sat down and I watched every single season of America's Next Top Model, and that thing reminded me of why I became a model to begin with. I just sat there on Amazon Prime and I watched every single season of Tyra Banks' America's Next Top Model. And my favorite season is when she brought the albino model. That particular episode. She talked about your flaws and about you being awesome. And she said, that makes you flawsome.
Yeah. And
when she said that, that just kind of, I mean, every show she made, just everybody has negative things about to say, but I'm going to talk about how it changed my life.
Yeah.
Because the negative things, you know, the Bible says to take the good.
Yeah.
Right? And the bad.
Yeah.
Put it aside. When I see something, I want to get the good from you. What can I learn from you? What can I get out of you? You may have a nasty attitude, or you may have some issues, and I get it. But what can I learn from you, even if you do have an attitude, or even if you do have a problem? Because we all have issues.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. And the book is speaking about all of that. Just being the best version of yourself. And you know, when I at the end of the book, there was a question that said, where do you want to be in the next year? Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to tell you now, I haven't even shared on my social media. So this is the first time I'm even going to say this.
Exclusive.
But where do you want to be in the new year? And I said, I want to have my own modeling school. Because I want to make other people learn how to live in the moment, to love themselves the same way Babazan made me learn to love myself. And to grow into the model that I am today. Yeah. Somebody taught me, somebody was my mentor. Somebody gave me the opportunity, and that's all you need. You only need one person to say, you know what? I see something, and you don't need a whole crowd. You don't need an army. You just need one person to say, I see something in you, and that is it. Yep. And I'm able to give that to people. And a boutique, I want to have a boutique that celebrates the plus size, the thin, the tall. I want to have something that celebrates all women and men of all sizes. Because beauty does come in all shapes and all sizes. And there's nothing wrong with you being thin. You don't want to be unhealthy, but don't make it a stigma to be like, oh, you know, you're too big. You can't do this. You can't do that. Why? Listen, I came up with this quote that says, embrace your today and your tomorrow will be brighter. Mm-hmm. What it means is that you have to love yourself with all of your imperfections, love who you are in the moment, love yourself with the love handles, love yourself with the overweight, love yourself with the messed up hairdo, love all of that. When you get to the point where you love all of that and you love yourself and you wake up loving yourself like I did, because I had to say, you know what, Edward, enough is enough. You can't change the way you were born. You cannot change that you were born with a cleft lip, with a cleft palate. You cannot change any of that. But what you can change is where you're going tomorrow. Yep. What you can is building a better future for yourself and become a better person and a better version of yourself. That you can change. And when I learned to embrace who I was, yes, my tomorrow became brighter and greater, because now I'm not worried about society loving me. I'm not worried about society approving of me. I already proved for myself when I wasn't who I am today. The moment that I approved of my cleft lip and I approved of my cleft palate and I approved of everything that was bad with me, and then I started to work on myself, I don't need validation from anybody else because I already gave it to myself. Validate yourself now. I've spoken to a lot of men. Men have the biggest problem Men have the biggest problem to deal with self-esteem. They won't say it because men we're very macho, I'm the macho man. But you sit down when you talk with these macho men that a lot of them are like, oh, they will cry.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not living their truth. They're not speaking out to the things that they have inside because they're so to being, the Latin men are so, like in Puerto Rico, men don't cry and you don't shed tears. And you're so used to being this strong person. Take a moment to cry. Take a moment to let those tears out. Take a moment to let your feelings out. And a lot of men won't speak about obesity, about how they feel with that, because it's like a taboo.
Yes.
And they don't understand that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to live that true love. I talked to this guy about a month or two ago, and he's like 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I told him the same thing. He's like, oh, I want to wear that shirt, but I wait till I lose weight. No, I said, no, you don't wait till you lose weight. He goes, why? I said, you know what? Let me tell you something. When I wanted to wear something, I bought it in the moment that it fit me. And I learned that when I was embracing who I was. If I want to buy a shirt and I'm an extra large or 2X or 3X, whatever size I am, I'm going to buy it at that size.
Yep.
And I embrace it with that size. And then when I get to the part that I lose my weight and I can wear the size 2, then I'll enjoy the size 2. So I said to him, don't wait until you lose weight. Wear what you want to wear now. Wear and do whatever you want now. And as you begin to lose the weight and as you begin to work on yourself, it'll be different. And this man messaged me the other day and he was thanking me because of that.
Yes.
Because you took the time to tell somebody you are enough.
Mm.
You are worthy to be whatever you want to be. And I think that people need to learn that. Listen, I've been in pageantry since 2016. I'm a pageant king. I'm the current Mr. Manifestation 2021. And it's been an amazing journey. It's just, me, a pageant king. Even when I became a pageant king in 2016, I was at an event. It was about domestic violence, and I was and I was invited to speak to the women. Mind you, I didn't know anything about domestic violence, but they wanted me to come and bring forth some positive message about overcoming your circumstances and moving forward. That's why they brought me on to be part of the speakers.
Yeah.
And so as I was talking, these women come in with these crowns and sashes, and I'm like, oh, crowns, sashes, where are they coming from? And the designer, the owner of the pageant said at the end, have you ever done pageantry before? And I said, no, ma'am. She's like, I'm like, me pageantry? I laughed about it. I'm like, I can't be no pageant. She was like, because in my mind, I went back to that cleft palate child. It always takes you back.
It always does.
I'm like, I don't have the look. I'm not good enough. I don't look enough. I'm not tall enough. And she's like, you have something. She told me the same thing that I was told years before that. There's something about you that I believe that you would be great pageantry. And in that moment, I said, you know what, Edward? What do you have to lose? What do we have to lose?
Yeah.
When the opportunity is there, what do we have to lose?
I am sitting here and you are doing for me what I do for everybody else and very seldom get in return. You are feeding me. And I am so overwhelmed, touched, moved, and inspired by it because I do this for strangers, people I don't know, and yet and still. And I do it without seeking anything in return. And that's the problem. They don't realize that I break down. I'm going through, even now, a rough time. I have COVID in the middle of the pandemic. I'm an independent business owner. It's rough. And sometimes people think, oh, well, I don't want to encourage them because they think that I can give them something monetary or something. It's like, no, sweetheart, sometimes the words and the empowerment is enough.
That's right.
It's enough. And it's so crazy that you said that because I was thinking as you were talking about where you had been and how now you're doing pageantry, and we're going to talk about that because I love that I saw on your page, you know, the pageantry and just things, basically, things you never expected to be doing, you are doing.
That's it.
I never expected to be doing this, ever. When I was 22, I was a little androgynous boy. I had long braids, I was thin, and I went to Paris and they said to me, Bjorn, you need to be doing the women's shows. And I looked at them from a Pentecostal background, like you said, Churches of God in Christ. And I looked at them and said, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Now, mind you, I was gay at the time, but I was like, no, I can't do that. 17 years later, look. And I think to myself sometimes, I said this in another interview, I was like, what would my life have been if I had just embraced it? But at the same time, I don't feel I lost anything because I have this insatiable desire to control myself and control my narrative. So I don't really want to work with big companies to where they want me to work for them. I can consult, we can trade ideas, and you can pay me a consultant fee. But as far as me coming on board and being their artist and this is that, I'm not into that. But my thing is, people don't know, you know, we look at the world and right now it's bleak.
Yes.
But if what you're saying is if we don't start thinking positively now, we will never see the end of what's going on. There will be more suicide. I've been suicidal. When my first business folded, I was suicidal. There will be more suicide. There will be more mental illness and mental health and mental unrest. You're right. We got to start putting it in front of us now. When we wake up, when we, every chance we get, positive. It was so funny because I have a floor to ceiling mirror. I'm in that mirror every day. Sometimes it's kind of funny too, because you talked about my podcast, you've heard it. I do my podcast standing in front of that mirror, looking at myself. That's a secret I just told, but that's how I do my podcast. I go and I record with the microphone in front of me, but I have a conversation with me. Every single podcast, it's like 243 of them. Every single one was had in front of the mirror where the audience couldn't see, but I was standing in front of the mirror getting me together. That's what I was doing.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. It's powerful. And the reason why it's powerful, because you're looking at yourself in a different light.
Yep. And
when you see, because you're looking at like, this is really me and I'm having a conversation and I own all of this.
Yep.
When this new year started, what can I do different? And you know what? I said, you know what? Okay, I know what I'm going to do different. I'm going to build a better version of myself. I'm going to work on my fitness on my own. And I'm going to look for a new skin regimen. And I got a facial steamer, which I've never used in my lifetime.
Mm.
I got a laser thing with lights that has red and purple lights and things like that to help with inflammation.
Yeah.
And I found an amazing skincare line that is just phenomenal. It's called IE. I went to a Whole Food store,
Yeah.
where everything is organic.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, this thing has been transforming my skin since the beginning of the year of 2022.
Wow.
And I got a glycolic acid type of pads and a face wash cleanser with glycolic acid and things in there too. And I thought to myself, you know what, Edward? 2022, you have to start it with pain. Yeah. And because you're in your house all day, every day, you can't go anywhere, because I also work from home, because I also do insurance and banking.
Yeah.
And you're home all day. Build a better, I kept saying that to myself, build a better version of yourself in your appearance.
Yeah.
Because the moment that you get out of these four walls and you have to do, for example, this interview.
Right.
And you have to do a lot of tests, and you have to present yourself virtually and physically when you go to crown your successor in June of 2022. You want to show a different Edward Tapia on that stage.
Yeah.
Because now I'm a title holder, and when I give my final speech and my final walk, I want to be able to say, I did 2021, and I am on the stage crowning my successor, but I'm going to let you know before I come off the stage, and I'm going to let you see it visually as well, that I'm not the same Edward Tapia from 2021, and I'm a totally different version of myself in 2022.
Yes.
And consistently every day, and I build my own regimen. At first, I was like, I need a trainer. I need somebody. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you need a trainer for? I thought to myself, I have a license for fitness, because I got my Zumba license since 2012. Actually, since 2010, I got it. I have a group fitness, so I used to work in a gym for 4 or 5 years. Train yourself. Give yourself. How are you gonna get a trainer? So, and I've been doing that since this year began, and I have seen such a change. Vitamins, taking vitamins, biotin, for example. Biotin is good for your hair. Biotin is good for your nails. It's good for your skin. So these are all things that we can do to build a better version of ourselves. If you have a dream to be a model, you may be I'm considered a conventional model.
Right.
Why am I a model? Because I'm not 6'1". I'm not necessarily short, but I'm not 6'1". I'm not your typical model that you would normally see in a Calvin Klein magazine. That's why I'm considered unconventional, right? But at the same time, because I'm not considered the typical models that people would normally are attracted to as far as brands, then I have to do my due diligence.
Yes.
And do my part and say, you know what? I may not be 6'1", but I'm gonna let you know I can rock the clothes the same way that he can rock the clothes. I'm gonna rock it too, because it's not what you wear; it's how you wear it.
Yep.
And that's why when I do photo shoots, and if a designer calls me for a photo shoot, I ask, what am I gonna wear? What are the colors I'm wearing? What's the theme? And you know what I do? I buy shoes. I ask, do you want me to wear a hat? I buy a hat. I don't have to do that.
Right.
It's her brand, not mine. But you know why I do it? Because I'm selling Edward Tapia in that photo shoot. I'm selling the designer, but I'm also selling Edward Tapia, that Edward Tapia is doing things with excellence.
Yeah.
Every fashion show that I do runway, I never wear used shoes. I never wear used shoes.
Right.
Every shoe that I have on my feet is brand new. And if I'm wearing 3 different outfits, I'm wearing 3 different sets of shoes. And I went to North Carolina, and I still experience rejection. I do. I've had designers look at me like, and I went to this one fashion show where the designer did exactly that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say nothing for me to know that he didn't like me. And I think you understand me, because there's
yes.
I dream things and visions. I have visions. You understand where I'm going with that.
Yep.
And so, and I also understand when there's a connection, and there's also when there's a block with a spirit in somebody else.
Yep.
And so I knew the moment that I got in the wrong way, that this man does not like me. And you know what? But there was another designer that was there, which was the main designer. He was the main designer. So it was like I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. He don't like you, but the other one's gonna love you.
Yeah.
This man runway 3 times. He put me on a blue outfit. He put me on an orange outfit. And he put me in a black long trench with fur coming around. When I walked down that runway, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. And I had a pair of glasses for every suit that I wore, different.
Yeah.
Because I took a whole suitcase of glasses.
Yeah.
For the runway, for accessories.
Yeah.
Outfit I wore, I had different glasses and I had different pairs of shoes. Do you know that from that show, I did not know that in the front row, the owner of Derby Fashion Week was there from Kentucky. And before the show, her husband, which I didn't know he was the owner either, he was running a table.
Mm-hmm.
Having a casual conversation, talking to him. You don't know who you're talking to. So you should never talk down to people, and you should never treat people down, because you never know what they hold.
Never know what they're going to become. Never know what we're going to become.
Little did I know that he was her husband. So after I did the runway thing, they're over there talking this conversation, and he was telling me how amazing our conversation was.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call after, because they asked me for the number when I came home. We wanted you to come to Derby Fashion Week. Your hotel would be paid for. Everything would be paid for. We want you. And I was like, and then I see a post, and the designer that picked me, he tags me on a post that a magazine that was there. I had no idea they were there.
Yep.
They asked him for photos, and he sent them the photos. And guess whose pictures they picked for their magazine? Mine.
Yes.
So rejection, guys, is gonna come.
Yeah.
Everything is not peaches and cream, because when you go to a casting for acting, you're not gonna get called back all the time.
Nope.
They may not want you for the runway, but you know what? Somebody, like I said earlier in this, somebody's going to say, I want that Black girl.
Yep.
I want a Puerto Rican man.
Yep.
I want that man. I want that woman. Somebody's going to say, I want you, because you have something. You just have to not sell yourself short. And you have to, and I cannot stress this enough, if you want to model, you cannot post bootleg pictures on Instagram, bootleg pictures on Facebook. You need to show people that you are a model with your post. Don't post bad photos. Start building your portfolio and give your page beauty.
You definitely need a school, because you're reminding me of my teacher, Mr. Lee. He was like, look here now. But you're right. And this is the thing. See, even on my page, on all of my social media, especially Instagram, I post, and this is the thing. I have a big push because, see, I started in high fashion. Very difficult after Barbizon, and very difficult to be in, very difficult to take in, to stay in, and especially being Black. And me, they didn't quite know what to do with my look, because it was, well, you're a boy, but you look like a girl, and we don't know how far we want to take this with public commercial brands. Like it was a mess. But you're right. I showcase these boys on my page. I'm big on Black and Latin men. And yes, I show them with athletic looks, because my thing is that's not allowed. In fashion, they want you to be rail thin, and they want you to, basically it's just not, to me, it's not appealing. So I'm not saying that, oh, if you're a skinny model, you're not beautiful, because I've seen some that are very beautiful. Case in point, the Victoria's Secret fashion models. They are gorgeous, but they're gorgeous because they're allowed to work out. They're allowed to be a little more robust. They're allowed to have a little bit more hip. They're allowed to have a little bit more cleavage, realistic, but not realistic. They're supermodels, but they reflect a robust sort of personality, nature, and breathing. And I always, like, when I curate my page, I go to these guys' pages and I'm looking for specific criteria. And yes, I use my fashion influence and high fashion to still kind of find what I'm looking for. And I've had some men, and I've had to apologize to them, because I've had some men say to me, Queen, will you post me to your page? And they may have been somebody I didn't follow, but that somebody that was new. And I will say, well, hold on one second, sweetie, let me look. And I go to their page and I don't see anything that is marketable. Like what you just said, they too have to realize, and I want you to say it again, because that's why I'm saying it. They have to realize that they need to social media is your foot. Put your best foot forward. Brand yourself on social media because you can get a job. I've gotten several. I've gotten clients through social media.
Right. I have a magazine. I haven't posted it, but my outfit is off the chains. I just got to say that.
Okay.
I'm wearing an amazing outfit by a designer, SM Custom Design, is international Haitian designer. For 4 years. So she's dressing me for this photo shoot. And this magazine is Breakaway Magazine. I haven't even said that either. This is the first time anybody because one thing I'm going to tell you, Queen, is drop it like it's hot. Don't announce it before it happens. I used to be all excited about dropping, and then you got the haters, and and a lot of times those are people in your circle that you don't know that they're haters on you. Up, y'all. You got your own circle that you don't even know that they're your haters, and they are, and they're sitting there laughing with you and talking to you, but they're hating on you behind the scenes. So you know what I do now? When I was going to Canada, every time I went to Canada, you know, when people knew I was going to Canada, right before I boarded the plane. Yep. Hey, y'all. Edward Tapia, I'm about to go to Montreal, Canada. See you guys when I come back. Yes, bye.
I've gotten in the habit of not announcing.
And my Molly mama told me that years ago. I call her my Molly mama because she became my mom at the time when I started Molly. And she gave me that advice. She said, stop posting before things happen. You post it once it's in the moment, and after the moment, that's when you drop it. Like, so that's what I do now. I drop it like it's hot after the point. And Breakaway Magazine is a high fashion, high-end international magazine from Canada.
Yeah.
And I don't know them. I don't know any of them. You know, when I was in World Class Kings magazine, I was in the front cover of that. Yeah. I've never met the man in my life. You know, when I did the pageant that I became Mr. Classic Wild Universe, which is in 2021, that was during the pandemic. That's a London pageant. I hold an international title from London, and I'm Puerto Rican. You know? But I have an international title from London.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fly to London because of COVID and things like that. So that's why they did it virtual. When I won that, I cried.
Yeah.
I literally bawled. Like, I was just bawling because I'm like, oh my God, this is even real. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning because the pageant started at 5:30 our time, 11 o'clock London time.
Yeah.
About when you went to Paris, right? So you know what that's.
I know.
Yeah. And I had to wake up. I was so tired, but it wasn't like I wasn't competing. I still had to send videos, you know, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because in the world that we live in today, casting companies, modeling companies, fashion shows, they are going to your social media. Just last night, I was looking at an agency that Instagram filters and it throws people down your way or what have you. And I saw an agency, and when I opened up their website and I went to see what their requirements were, they wanted to know what was my social media link. Because people want to see, okay, you're saying that you're a model? Show it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me. And you have to, if you go to my page, you're going to see me photos wearing a skirt. I told this photographer one day, I want to wear a skirt. He's like, what? I said, I want to do a photo shoot wearing a skirt, but I want to be shirtless. And he's like, what? A skirt? I'm like, yeah. But I said to him, I want to make it look masculine.
Yeah.
I said, because there's people, there's countries that the men wear skirts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's outfits that the men's, just because it's not normal in our culture doesn't mean it's like, oh my God, that's a taboo. Well, what happened to the kilt that some men wear? Isn't the kilt, it's like a skirt. It's a skirt.
It's a skirt.
The kings, even going back to the kings that were ruling the country, they wore a skirt.
And heels.
Yes, and the heels were like this thick.
Yeah.
People genderize everything.
Yeah.
They put a gender on everything. And you know, I said to him, I said, fashion to me is art.
Yep.
Fashion to me, and the moment that I fell in love with fashion and fashion fell in love with me and I became Edward Tapia, the model, listen, I done threw on some heels, I done threw on boots, I done threw on all kinds of skirts and everything. And I said to him, because I want people to understand that it's art.
Yes.
I don't want to be the typical male model that all of my pictures are either shirtless or I'm wearing jeans or I'm wearing shorts or I'm wearing I don't want that. I said, what makes me marketable is that I'm wearing color, that I'm wearing something outside the box that people don't expect a man to wear. But that's what made you look at my page. What made me look at your page? The beauty of every single video. I still don't even know how I found your page to begin with. I'm like, that was, I told my friend, I said that was God, because I don't even remember how I found her page. I just know I came across the page and I saw the videos and the interviews and how gorgeous she looked, and I just started clicking and liking and following and commenting, and it was a wrap. Yep. And then when you inbox me, I'm like, oh shoot, she like
yeah. I have a turnaround time. My turnaround time is quick.
I wasn't even expecting you to comment to inbox me, because I was just like, you know, liking the page, because I genuinely like to see people's creation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to grow on social media, you have to connect with your audience.
Yeah.
My Instagram was doing what I did on the page, going in there, liking and showing appreciation for the content that you deliver on your page. Because then what happens is somebody else is going to give you the same in return and show love on your page. Yeah. But people want to have all this crowds and all this audience, but they don't know how to show love on somebody else's page. But they want to get the attention. You have to give, like the Bible says, give so you can receive.
Yep.
Give so you can receive.
Yeah.
And I have, when I did for my birthday, I love Billy Porter.
Yeah.
I love me some Billy Porter.
I do too.
I love his voice. I love his music.
Everything about him. Yes.
And when the designer was like, do the Haitian designers, which is Santia, designer Santia, was like, do this and this outfit, and I got the whole suit, and she helped me put the whole suit together with the skirt, and I did that for my birthday shoot.
Yeah.
And she did my hair with the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you that I just felt like on a whole nother level of, I just felt like a whole different person. I don't know how to explain it. I just I felt like a new me.
Yeah.
And it felt so good to live in the moment, and you have to live in the moment and enjoy and embrace it and make the best of it. Yeah. And it's just this next photo shoot for the magazine shoot that I'm doing now. My outfit is just breathtaking, and I just can't wait to show it and just deliver it and really bring it forward, because I said to myself, you know what? I am going to be on these on other international runway shows, and I am going to be knocking on the doors of these brands, because I do want to get heard by and watched and seen by Calvin Klein and Gucci and other companies. I want to know Edward Tapia is here.
Yes.
And how I'm going to do that is with my content, with what I post.
Yes. Yes.
That's good. You want to get noticed? Deliver.
Yes.
Deliver, post.
Yes. You know, it's so crazy because today was a fashion day for me. I interviewed a buddy of mine, a friend of mine. His name is Marbis Negretti. He's from he's from Venezuela, but now he lives in Spain, and I'm going to connect you to after this is over. But he has a men's swimwear line, but I did not know that for 6 years, he's a couture designer. Wow. So today I'm talking to him He's sending me my first piece of couture. It is beautiful. It's sheer and it's got all these hand sewn stones on the sleeves. And I was like, are you kidding? Like literally the interview was mush after that because it was just like, I told, he's like, I want you to wear it. And he's like, because I told him I might be moving to Lisbon. And he was like, well, I'm in Spain. He's like, come over here and I'll put you in my couture dresses. And I'm like, like this, like, it's so funny to me because like you just said it, the fashion is the art. And it's full circle. We've gone the way that we've gone and we got in, like we're in. We're not on the outside. We're in. And it's just like to be in and be yourself. Didn't have to change. Didn't have to diet and so I could fit every single sample size of everything, like I didn't have to do that. My friend says, oh, you like this? I'll send it to you. Send me your address. And I'm like, and I'm not wearing it. I think I'll put it on for a mirror moment and take a picture, but I want to frame it. I do. I want to frame those big frames because it's my first piece of couture. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's expensive. Yeah. The work on it is expensive. And I'm just like it just, that moment, it was like you said, it let me know I'm on another level.
Yes. And the other day, this was on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly new to TikTok.
Yeah, me too.
But there was a live going on, and I pressed the button to go. There was 4 amazing Black. The one lady that was running the show, she had 90,000 followers. So I'm like, I just dropped in and popped in. I'm like, oh, they had me laughing and giggling. TikTok. Some people are just, and the conversation was so interesting because it was just a regular, normal conversation like you and I are having, and they were laughing and giggling. I'm like, oh, hello, y'all are, I said, God bless you. I say hello to them, and y'all are so awesome, and you guys got me here laughing and giggling. And they're like, well, hello, fashion, and because on TikTok is fashionable Eddie.
Yes.
Long and behold, one of the ladies that was there, she said, oh, fashion. They go, oh, let's stop right now and let's all go to his page. So do you know they all go to my page on TikTok? And then they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, he is fashionable. Oh, we need to bring him on this live. And then the one girl said, you know what? I have a photo shoot with a designer and I need some tips. So the one lady came off so that I can come on with the live, have a conversation about how to prep for her. And she was a plus size.
Yes.
So I got into, I was explaining to her about, asking the designer about the look. What is she going to wear? What colors? About the shoes, so that she knows what shoes she should wear with the outfit. About the hair, what kind of hair she wants. Does she want accessories? I was giving her all of that. I said, because at the end of the day, when you go to this photo shoot, yes, you're going to dress up in the clothes, but you want something you.
Yeah.
You need to go to every single photo shoot, and leaving that photo shoot with that designer saying, I want her back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been working with this Haitian designer, and I'm the only Hispanic male working with her, and it's been 4 years. Wow. 4 years. And I've traveled with her to New York Fashion Week twice. We've been to LA Fashion Week, and we haven't been to LA Fashion Week because of COVID. We were supposed to go to Paris, and we didn't go to Paris Fashion Week because of COVID. So that happened when I won Best Male Model of Central Florida in 2018.
Yes. When
I was nominated for Best Male Model of Florida, oh, the shade. The shade. People would listen. This man said, oh, first of all, you don't know me, but you're getting mad because everybody's mentioning my name on Facebook when they were asking for the nominees.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was either. And he started talking about Photoshop and all this other stuff. And I said, you know what? All I had to say on the message was, thank God that when I'm on the runway, there ain't no Photoshop. Because if you on the runway and you don't look good on the runway and you look bootleg and you look like you got hit by a truck, guess what? That photo's not gonna get edited. Because last time I checked it, runway photos barely get edited. So if you look and you look bad and ratchet, that's how they're gonna post you, bad and ratchet. Okay. So you need to. So that's all I said. Leave it at that. I ain't saying nothing else. I'm like.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the comeback because at the end of the day, like.
And the thing is, let's talk about Photoshop.
Yes.
People who have a concept. To me, if I'm live with you, right, if you look beautiful right now, because you do, you look freaking stunning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you were in a photo shoot, your photos look just as amazing as the way you look in person. You cannot deliver a photo after a photo shoot with a model that had her makeup done by a professional that paid $50, $60 with bags under her eyeballs because your lighting was bad because you didn't fix your lighting before you photographed that model. Because the lighting, how many times when we're doing, those of you that are listening right now, that you take a phone and you start doing this. You take a picture and you had lines in your face because why? Because the light was bad. And you're looking for an angle and you're looking for the right light. It's the same concept when you're in a photo shoot and the photographer does not do his due diligence to make sure that the light settings are correct for that particular photo shoot so that the photos, because if it's indoors, there's a different light setting. If it's outdoors, there's a different light setting. If the photo shoot is on sundown or sun up or in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, or even at 6 in the evening, those settings of lighting are different. And that's going to either make or break your pictures.
Yep.
So photos have to be edited.
Yeah.
To me, I don't want nobody to Photoshop me and make me look like a size 2 and I'm a size 4.
Right.
I do not want that. I don't want nobody to change the way I look, and I don't want nobody to hide my cleft lip because my cleft lip is my signature.
Yes.
What I do want is that if I get up in the morning and I'm paying somebody or my agency pays somebody a fee to do my makeup, and Jordan Liberty comes on and he does my makeup and he makes me look like $1 million, that when I get the photos, which is the final product, that my final product looks like $1 million because you got paid to deliver a product. Yes. Difference. And people don't understand. They're like, oh, it's, one day someone messaged me about that Photoshop thing. And she got me so pissed off because I'm going to say it like it is. Mm-hmm. I was pissed off. And I said to her, you know why my teeth are white? Because I do go to the dentist. I do use and I don't use a cheap toothpaste that costs $1.
Right.
I use a special toothpaste which is Crest that helps with the white teeth, which helps with your gums.
Right.
And it's $50, but it's still almost $8.
Right.
Most people will buy the 99-cent toothpaste.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. But I was just making a point. If I'm taking care of myself because I recognize that as a model, I need to take care of myself. Yeah, you trying to question me? Well, the white in the photo because they are white in person.
Yes. Yes. See,
you know what I'm saying? And that's a thing that's going around. Fashion Hero, which is the show that I was in, was all about positivity, about the unconventional models that are not typical models that are rejected in the industry, and giving the opportunity. And I had the most amazing opportunity to live in Canada and get dressed by Jimena Valero, who works with Queen Latifah in Los Angeles, to work with Christopher Bates, who's from Milan, Italy, to work with all these designers that were in the show that were absolutely amazing. Joanna Hernandez, which is like huge in the Hispanic community in LA as well. And you live in the moment and you have to be able to sell you as a model.
Yep.
If you don't work on your appearance, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm working on my appearance.
Yeah.
I bought a light that cost me $100 something.
Right.
I don't even grow on trees, but if I pay $100 something for this light, it better work. If I buy a face steamer that says it's for a face steamer that's supposed to exfoliate my skin,
Yeah.
and get my face got to look flawless somehow, because I'm doing my due diligence to transform myself on the outside.
Yeah.
If I'm doing biotin, which I do that every day faithfully, biotin is going to help my nails and help my hair and help my skin. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if I'm wearing some foundation,
Yeah.
if I'm wearing some mascara,
Yeah.
are my eyes going to stand out?
Yeah.
Isn't my skin going to look better if I'm wearing some type of foundation? Like, where's the common sense?
Yeah. They don't get it.
No, and then they start bullying people. That's why subject.
Yeah,
they use bully people, and they start bullying you. Oh, she looks amazing in the picture because she got Photoshop. No, she looks amazing in the picture because she did her due diligence, she did her makeup, and she got a good photographer that knew how to photograph her.
Ding, 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 ding.
So the reason why I'm saying that, guys, is don't let people discourage you, because that is a huge thing that could discourage people. You know, when somebody's Photoshop, when you see them in person, they look like a size 200, and in the photo they look like a size, and in the photo they look like a size 100. Then you know there's something wrong with the picture.
Right.
But when you see somebody, listen, leave it alone.
Right.
Acknowledge the beauty in the person in their pictures.
Yeah.
I did a post. I was so angry. I even did a video.
Yeah.
And I had on, and I was up close. I said, "Y'all see my teeth, right?"
They always, but you know what, people, I find that the envy is really real. They don't want to do what it takes to be glamorous and look like a fashionista or a model, but then they want to criticize you for spending the time and the money to do it. And it's like, don't criticize me, because you're actually angry at yourself that you wouldn't do it. So then you see me doing it and you're angry, because the anger comes in because you're thinking, damn, if I had stayed with it, maybe I'd look like that, or have good skin, or have good teeth. You know, like, it's just, beauty is an industry.
That's right.
It in itself is an industry. And that's the first thing I tell a young model that I find. I say to them, do you realize that you can make an entire life, not just a living, an entire life based on how you look?
That's right.
I need them to understand that about this industry. You can have homes and travel and all kinds of things that you could have never dreamed or imagined you could have, not from singing, not from acting, not from college, based on your self-care. I need them to understand that. And then when I say it like that, every single young model says to me, I never thought about it like that. I say, well, baby, don't you watch the greats? They're not out here with side hustles. They've been doing this 50, 60 years. They're doing what I'm telling you about. They take care of themselves, and them taking care of themselves takes care of everything else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Self-care, self-love,
mm-hmm.
everything. And that's good that you even brought that up, because it's something that people need to learn. And bullying, and it's still around because people allow it.
Yeah.
I don't feed into that. Yeah. Someone made a careless remark or a heartless remark on my post one day about my cleft lip.
Yeah.
I didn't even respond.
I block. I don't play. I block every sympathy.
I do that too. And I'm like, you know what? My Bible tells me not to respond to the ignorant with ignorance.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thank God for is that I was raised Pentecostal, is because I truly learned the scriptures. Yeah. And I embraced those words that are in, that every day give me life. When I think about that, I'm like, don't respond to the ignorant with, okay, I got you. All right. Bye. Don't respond to the ignorant with ignorance. Right. That's it. You don't waste your time with the negativity and keep it moving.
You know what I realized, and it was something that I had to realize for myself. I can't change their point of view. I used to be the one where I would try to change the point of view. I try to offer them some new knowledge, but they're not even open to new knowledge. They're not even open to it. So I had to stop fighting with myself and feeling bad because I felt like I could have educated them. No, you couldn't have. I couldn't have. They're not going to change. They're set in their ways. They believe what they believe, and what they believe is not what I believe. We are two separate people, and we are not going to agree. So why waste my time?
Yes, absolutely. And you have to be models as a person. You have to be versatile. You have to be willing to wear whatever it is they tell you to wear, because it's not about you. It's about the design and the clothes.
Yep.
I was in a fashion show, and the only clothing, it was crochet. The gown garments were crochet, and Lacey Kupani is Kupani Fashions. And I wore a suit at this event, and I was backstage. And like I told you, I bring shoes. And that day I only had one designer, but I brought extra shoes, including these sandals that I had that are Indian couture sandals with stones from India.
Yeah.
Because I work with a lot of Indian couture designers, and I have a lot of their clothes, so I have their shoes at home.
Yeah.
And I had the sandals there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take these extra sandals and these extra shoes, because I don't know if anybody picks me up. They may not like my look, but you know what? I'm already working for one designer, so we'll see what happens. How about I was backstage? Her models were already getting in line, and she has this piece, which is like a long cape with these tiny shorts and a bra.
Yeah.
And she's like, but the outfit was for more of a thicker model.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls that were there were more thin.
Okay.
So she had to wear. And she goes, Edward, mind you, I just met this lady. But she already knew my name, because you know me, I started networking with everybody. That's how you roll. Got to talk. Hi, my name is Edward. How is your hobby? That's how you do it.
Yep.
As soon as I met her, I let her know who Edward Tapia was. So she said, Edward, come over here. Would you wear this? I looked at the outfit and I was like, yes, ma'am. If it's I said, if it's gonna send me down the runway again, yes, ma'am, I'm gonna wear that. I sure I'm gonna wear that. And she said, listen, this is a women's outfit, but you're gonna make it look like a man's outfit. I said, well, I got my sandals. I picked up my sandals. She goes, I'm gonna wear it with these sandals. She was like, oh my God, those are perfect. So I put on the shorts. They fit me perfect. And then I put on the knitted cape, which was all the way down to the ground.
Yeah. And
the bra, she gave it to another thin girl so that the girl could wear the bra with regular jean shorts.
Right.
So it made it look like it was the shorts with that she was wearing, which were jeans, with the bra, and then I was wearing another piece, which kind of went in hand with the outfit.
Yeah.
But it looked masculine.
Yeah.
You know, that photo made it to the magazine.
See?
If I would have sat there and I would be like, oh, I'm not gonna wear that. That's a girl outfit.
See?
I'm not gonna wear that because no, I put it on and it was a masquerade. So they gave me a masquerade mask. And that photo made it to the magazine.
Yeah.
And it's just, be open, guys. You have to be open to do anything and everything and wear, because you are a canvas.
Yes.
You are a canvas. You are the face of the brand in that moment. What the audience is going to see is a model wearing somebody's clothes, and you have to sell that garment like it's nobody's business. Even if you think the color is ugly, even if you think the dress is ugly, you need to bring life to that dress. And you know, modeling it looks easy. You walk in the runway, because your walk is gonna either make or break that design, how you walk.
Yeah.
Even the men.
Yeah.
How you stand, how you pose when you get to the front of the runway, and how you project while you're walking.
Yeah.
You got to feel yourself in the moment. And like Tyra Banks used to always say, that sticks in my head, is to smile with your eyes and let them know you have arrived.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of being a model. But you have to give life to everything that you wear.
Yeah.
I went to Augusta, Georgia, and the Haitian designer told me that I was going to wear black and green.
Yeah.
I was super excited about the black and green. It was summer, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna wear black and the hunter green. And then I got my hunter green shoes, and I ordered brand new shoes. I told you, right?
Uh-huh.
then had ordered his nice green leather shoes for this black and green outfit that I was gonna wear. The black was all the suit was all black, and then my tie was green, and then my shoes, I bought the shoes to be green, so kind of accessorize it.
Right.
A week before the show, she was like, "Oh, I changed your suit. I gave this to another model." And when she sent me the suit, child, it was Christmas in June. That's when I tell you it was Christmas in June, it was Christmas in June. It was Christmas in June. That suit was red to gods. It was red from head to toe. And then it had it was like the checkered with the, so I had the red and the green going on, honey, in June. It was Christmas in June. And I said to myself, she was like, this is what I said, okay, all right. And mind you, I was running that show for her. So I was all the models for the show.
Yeah.
And so you know what I did? I put on a black shirt and I put on the green bow tie that I had, which was like a hunter green, not a really long, but a darker shade of green.
Yeah.
Or a different pair of black shoes, which were Calvin Klein shoes.
Yeah.
And then I got a green bag, like a clutch bag, green. When I came out of that runway, the audience went bananas about this outfit that I was wearing.
Yeah.
And do you know that after the event, all the men that were coming after me about the suit that they wanted to buy,
see,
it threw me over a loop, because in my mind, I thought, oh my God, it's June, it's red, it's green, it's Christmas. I thought holiday.
Yeah.
Because the summer is usually the pastel colors, the pinks and the purples and the lavenders, and the yellows and things like that. Not usually typically the red and the green that's like more for the fall, for the winter.
Yeah.
But it was right for that show, and it was also right for the people that were there.
Yes.
Because audience, and maybe that's why because designers pretty much know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because they know the audience of what's going to be there. So in her mind, she knew that outfit was going to work. In my mind as a model, I'm wrapped up in that looks Christmas, that looks more like for December or November, what have you. But even still, I needed to sell this suit when I stepped on that stage and let it be known that Edward Tapia was there to represent SM Custom Design on that runway and bring that outfit to life. And it was the same thing after the event was over. I mean, the photo was everywhere. People were bananas. It was just, it's on my Instagram.
I'm going to go look too. I'm going to make sure everybody gets the link too.
But it just brought that to life. And that's important to really remember that we are canvas and we are the mannequin of that design. And we are the ones that bring these outfits to life.
Yeah. And also to shed light on the fact that every designer does not design for stick figures. Most designers, because even the couture designer told me today, couture is rapidly disappearing because of the commercialism of the business now. And, people aren't buying couture the way they used to. So they're dressing the rest of us, and those are different sizes, different heights, different, so you need to realize that you can really, like you have done, started at 35 and have a long budding career, and it's going well, and you can really do that. But they say men work a lot longer than women do, because the women, they want them to be young and prepubescent, but the fact that I love that what I hear from you, your modeling school is going to be amazing. You're going to turn out young men and young women that truly understand fashion and the pride in appearance.
Yes.
Self, and I want to add this before we wrap up, but you've said it multiple times, and I'm just paraphrasing it. Don't just worry and focus on the outside too. Make sure you are doing the work that is required on the inside. Yes. Because when you hit that runway, you have clothes on your body and you may have the body, but something from inside needs to radiate.
Yes.
Something from inside. Like when you go to take that picture at the end of that runway, something from inside needs to glow, you know? And, you know, it's just, I listen, before COVID, I was going to launch my boutique modeling agency. I was going to start with 5 girls and 5 guys. And I was going to use my connections in Europe to kind of spearhead 5 girls, 5 guys careers. Then the pandemic happened. Then I closed my doors. And I have the name trademarked and everything, was Kali Model Management. And, you know, I was kind of bummed about it, but then I want to say this. This is why I want to say this, because we talk about fashion, we talk about modeling. I was kind of bummed about it because I find that even when I see a good looking guy or a good looking girl, beautiful girl online, you're right. I see 3 good pictures, then it goes to hell. You know, and then, you know, and I knew that would happen. I knew that, you know, I need to see this person in person anyway. I need to look at them. We need to measure them. We need to make sure they're this. But also the work ethic is not there.
Right.
You know, like, and me, I'm a workaholic, and I'm not looking for me, because it's not possible. You know, that's why I'm who I am. That's why you are who you are. The work ethic, it's the brand, it's your brand. We give an elegant experience. But
yes.
I'm looking for the eagerness to learn. And I don't see that in a lot of people, because I'll say certain things like, because even with the boys, they don't even know. And that's the crazy thing. They see me as the queen of shade. They don't really, they see me, yes, you showcase boys, this is that and the other on your page, but they don't know that I'm actually looking at them for future investments.
But right, for future
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. So I'm looking at them and I'll say something like, you need to cut your hair. You need to not have hair on your face. You need to, you know, trim this up, make sure you look like this. Make sure you do that. And I'll watch them ignore me. And I ignore them. Wow. I ignore them, because my thing is, you never, like you said, that you never know when you're networking who you're meeting.
Yeah.
You know, my thing is, I'm not on the runway anymore, but I'm definitely in the fashion community. So it's like, and I have plans to do even bigger and better things.
Right. And you said something very important. Barbizon told me, the owner told me, at the time my hair was curly.
Yeah.
My hair's natural curls.
Naturally curly because of, yeah.
And she said, we want you with your hair straight every week that you come here. Do you know Mr. Tapia was at the salon every Friday, every Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the reason why we want you with your hair straight is because it gives you a younger look. And it gave me like that Justin Bieber look when my hair was straight.
Mm-hmm.
So every weekend before my classes, which were on Sundays, some Saturdays, I would head to the salon early in the morning. My hair would get straightened professionally. And then I would go to, and let me tell you, I would spend like more than an hour, 2-3 hours sometimes, because I would go under the dryer, because the girl would flat iron, you know, fix my hair to make it look masculine, not feminine, and give me that look that they were looking for. I spent hours at the salon every Saturday.
People don't understand that. People don't understand that. See what you're talking about right now, but what you're talking about right now, look at all the time, money you spent in bettering yourself.
Yes.
It's why you are who you are. Look at all that money. Like get this. Like, and I was telling him when I was cussing him out, I'm like, listen, I did this. This is all me. I didn't make a dime from y'all. This is me. I'm coming to the table like this. So imagine if I get your financial endowment as well. It's going to go through the roof, because this right here is just me working with what I got.
That's right. And then I had my book, my portfolio. I have my comp cards. Yeah. You have to have a comp card. And I also have my business card, which is literally a comp card in a small version of but in a business card. That's another thing that a lot of models do not do. I've been to castings where none of the models have a comp card, none of them have a portfolio. My portfolio cost me $99, the book. Yeah. I could have went to TJ Maxx or to somebody over there and bought a album book. No, ma'am. I went to portfoliomark.com, portfoliomark.com, which is who sells professional model books, portfolios. So you can use that too for your brand and for your agency, because you have to open your agency. Because the part is for you to make it happen, boo. Okay?
Right?
So
right?
portfoliomark.com is where I got my book, and it was leather and it was $99. And I got nothing but the best, because when I present that book and I hand it over to you, like if you were casting me for your agency and I showed up with my book, and you're gonna look at not 5x7 photos, because the photos have to be 8.5 and 11 up, between 8.5 and 11 and 9x12 is what's appropriate for a model book. Yeah. So I have one of that at home. I have my first book from Barbizon when I started. And I have my new book, which I bought on my own at portfoliomark.com. And then I bought our third one last year, because I wanted a new one.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to Florida, because I live in Florida now, I can't hair long, it was stopped here. And I went to this girl who my friend referred me to, that, to cut my hair. This was 5 years ago. I've been in Florida since 2012, but 5 years ago, I went to Angie, and when I stepped in, she goes, "You're a model?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Honey, can I tell you something?" She goes, "You're a model. You need a new look." Just like that. She said, "That hairstyle that you have right now with the hair, that's old. You had it for a long time. You need a change." I didn't even know this lady from. Right? You like, lady? I don't know you from anything. I know from. I just walked into a salon to cut my hair for the first time, and she said, "In Puerto Rico, I worked with top of the line designers and top of the line models and agencies. That look worked for the past years up to this point. From this point moving forward, you need something different." This woman gave me a mohawk. She done cut my. I mean, when I got up from that chair, I know you were like, "Oh my God!" Listen, she done hair color. She changed my. And do you know that look is what took me to a whole different, like, that look that she gave me? Yeah, just transformed my appearance completely. The change that can make. And my career as a model skyrocketed. When I tell you it skyrocketed, it just went like to a whole different world. I was like, what? Like everywhere I would go, it was about my hair. And when you think it made sense, because I had just regular bland curly hair, then just make it straight. It's like the American boy look. Yeah. But what she did was made me more couture, so to speak, in my appearance, because she gave me that mohawk look, and then my hair was completely blonde and silver and all that, which is what you don't normally see on a runway. Right. More international. Yes. So she gave me that look that was like, and exactly that. When I went to Canada and I did my first runway show in Canada, listen, these people would have lost their mind. And then I went back, and I was the only international Hispanic model out of the country, and everyone was from Pakistan and India. That was when I tell you these garments were couture, they were couture. Stones for the God. Beading, sewn on, hand stitched. Oh, I love it. And I was the only model that was international out of the country. When I stepped up on that runway, these people they were, I mean, they had these big screens. You know how it is, like in Paris when they have those big screens. And that set me to a whole different level of excellence. It shows your look. And these people were just like, because when I came out, I was the only one that was this light skinned. Everybody else was darker skinned. They were from Pakistan, India, but they were darker. Yeah. In culture. So when I came out, they weren't expecting me to come out, and I'm lighter, and then my hair was blonde. So imagine, like, and then the designer put me in a green outfit. Wow. This outfit. And when she made this outfit, she said, "You know what? When they told me you were going to be my model, guess where she went? She went to my Instagram." Going back to the same thing that's important about you. This lady went to my Instagram. She said, "I went through all of your pictures that I saw. All of them. See? I wanted to see your personality." And she said, "I have to tell you, just by looking at your pictures and your videos, your personality shines so well. And I knew that by putting you in this green outfit that you were going to rock it." Wow. That's exactly what she did. And I brought that piece home.
Yes.
home. And so that's how you present yourself, guys, and how you sell yourself on social media. Listen, people shop with their eyes.
Yup.
When I go to the store and I see, and when I saw this online, I immediately said, I want that. I
Yeah.
shopped with my eyes. I didn't even think about the price. I just wanted it because it was freaking
Yes.
amazing, and I needed to have it. And I
Yes.
needed to have it with you.
Yeah.
When I saw glasses, when I saw this hat, I literally was online like a nudge. I ordered like 3 pairs of glasses. Let me just tell you, because I was like, maybe I want to wear this for the interview. But it wasn't like you were expecting me to do that.
Nope.
But when you perform with excellence, that makes a big difference. When you perform with excellence, and everyone that's going to come on this show and get interviewed with the Queen of Shade, guys, when you come on, if she contacts you, embrace the moment, and at the same time, make sure that you present yourself with excellence, because you never know where this interview takes you and where you go from there. Always present yourself with excellence, not just with the Queen of Shade, but in every interview that you do, excellence, excellence, do everything with excellence, and that's going to take you far.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because I have some things in the works and they're going to be very big. And because they're going to be very big and there's going to be a lot of attention, attention to detail is going to be paid to everything I've ever released. So it's going to bring about, and I knew that even before I knew I had these opportunities coming, I knew that as I continued to shine my star and go from plateau to plateau, up higher and higher and higher, it was going to bring attention to everyone I ever talked to, everyone I ever posted, everyone I ever saw. And it's kind of hard to tell people that, but that's what I do. I do these because it's like, I saw someone that moved me. When I saw you, Mr. Tapia, I said, he moves me immediately. Then secondly was your personality and your engagement. You started talking. You found me. Now, mind you, I ain't got nothing really popping. I'm just now getting my TikTok together. But you found me on TikTok and you're talking to me on TikTok. And I'm just like people don't do that, and they should. They should, because you're selling your brand. We're all brands. Communication, it's key, because you don't know who these people are or what they're going to become. And it's like, you gotta, like, you know, and I have, now mind you, I've reached out to some people. I've supported them for years and years and years and years and years. Some of these guys I've been posting since before Instagram. We're talking MySpace 15, 16, 20 years ago. And I have some of them coming on because they're like, thank you so much for 15 to 20 years of support. So I asked a couple, and not the ones from that time. No, they respect me much more because they've watched my evolution. But some of the newer ones, and they were like, no, I don't want to do it because you don't have enough YouTube followers. And I'm like, and I said to him, I said, baby, the YouTube is brand spanking new. Brand spanking new. Give it time. Just like with everything else, give it time. And
no, I'm sorry. Let me let you.
No, but the thing is, they said that, and then I started landing killer crazy interviews with people, and they're like, how do they know this person? How do they know that person? How do they know that? And I'm just like, and I just sit there and I'm just like, and see, and my thing is this. One thing about me is I truly do enjoy helping Black and Latin men. That's my thing. And my thing is, Latin men have treated me better, but Black men have oppressed me and beat me my whole life, beat me down. And I still find it in my heart to help them knuckleheads. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, even after this, now mind you, brand new, YouTube is sending me all kinds of notifications and congratulations, because literally the channel is a month and I think 2 weeks old, and it has something like 18 to 20,000 views already. People are literally watching the content.
That's it.
And I'm like, and my thing is, get this, and I said that for this reason. When they come back to me, I'm still going to take them and do the interview. That's just who I am. My attitude is, I remember you waited to jump on the bandwagon. You weren't there with the initial send-off. I'm going to remember that. but you're allowed to get on the bandwagon. Fine. I don't, because my thing is, this is mine. This is mine. What y'all got to do, and this is another thing. I tell him, Mr. Tapia, I tell him, listen, longevity is key.
That's it.
You got to try to find some way to last. And baby, your muscles aren't going to last.
That's it.
I've already been here 20 years. It's been 20 years. I started at 19. I'm 39.
That's it. And you don't even look 39. You look young.
Listen, but that's what I try to get them to realize. You may have a hot summer, you may have a hot winter, all the designers may want you right now. Baby, last 20 years and then come talk to me.
I know that's right. And one thing that I want to point out about that I noticed, it's very hard for you to have a verified Instagram.
Yes.
Point that out.
Yes. Everybody. They gave it to me too. I didn't have to apply. They gave it to me because the work was so much that they literally, and Facebook sent me a message a couple of days ago and said, now mind you, I ain't got no activity on Facebook, none. They said to me, your profile deserves verification. Please apply. And then when I applied, they were like, please submit your photos. And I submitted my photos. I said, oh, well, this is not the same person. I said, yes, it's actually me. I'm a guy. But they see all the brand is the girl. So they were like, oh, we'll get back to you. But yeah, you're right. Continue with what you're saying. Yep.
So that in itself is what gives you the reputation that you have, even if nobody wants to give it to you. Guess what? When you have a blue check on Instagram, that is considered celebrity status.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So the fact that you took the time to even message me or reach out to me as well and say, hey, I want to interview you, I was honored and humbled, because in that moment, when I found your Instagram, I'm like, in my eyes, in Edward Tapia's eyes, I was looking at a star, a big, that's how I saw it. And I was flattered. I was humbled. I was telling Brent, I'm like, oh my gosh, she inboxed me. And I said, I was just looking at her thing and I really enjoyed what I was seeing, the content I was posting, and I just thought, and I was not expecting, because I don't get that from a lot of pages that I go out to.
I mean, when I saw you, I said, click, send by inbox, send. Like it literally.
And I just know.
But you know what? You and I both have an ability though. We see the brand. We see the longevity. We see what is there. You can, and you exist. Even when I said what you're wearing, when you first came on screen, I'm like, this. And then to hear you be able to back it up in your conversation, you're like, listen, I take pride in everything I do. And the funny thing was when you said modeling school, I said, yeah, this man, because now the money is in teaching other people that are coachable to do it. And you know what's so funny? Allow me to use my gifts. You're nowhere near done. So please don't think that you're slowing down right now because of COVID. You're not done. You're going to do a lot more. I see a lot more international travel from you. I see a lot more affiliates with you, brands, because let me tell you something. It's elegant. Your brand is elegant. And I see in the realm of the spirit, I'm seeing so many brands that people are going to wonder, well, he's not 20. He's not, how did he? Elegance. They wanted a man, and they got a man of the world. Ambiance and good shoes. And please, my like I said, my instructor, he always talked about the floor shine shoes. He always talked about the shoes. He was like, you need a black pair, you need a brown pair, you need to make sure you have them with you. Like he always.
And I carry a whole entire suitcase with shoes.
Yeah.
And I grab another bag with all kinds of glasses. Yeah. And I grab another thing of hats, and then I take it with me, especially if I don't know the designer and I don't know what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
And there have been times that, like that I've come home and I cry my eyes out when rejection, because I'm going to be honest, I've had those moments.
Yeah, me too.
And one day that happened to me because the show that I was supposed to do in Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
out of the show after I was supposed to work for the designer, because the show wanted the traditional models and I was not considered traditional. They took me out of the show, and I came home and I cried about it when I got the letter of rejection, the email, because I'm like, I felt, when I found out why they took me out was what made me worse, because it was like, oh, well, at the time, no, I didn't have a six-pack, but I'm not 500 pounds either.
Right.
And I understand some brands want that because it's like swimwear, you want to have a nice cut up body for swimwear. So it's warranted depending on what you're going to model for.
Right.
I get swimwear, if it's athletic wear and that kind of thing. You know, there's a opportunity for everyone in the modeling industry.
Yeah.
But if I'm wearing an outfit or a t-shirt or what have you, and I'm not like super extra big, don't make me feel like I'm not worthy enough to be runway, especially when another designer had already picked me.
Yeah.
Like I started the show. And you know what? When I found myself crying about it, I said, Edward Tapia, you stop crying right now. Do you hear me? And I'm like literally looking at myself in the mirror. I said, if it's not Gucci, if it ain't Versace, if it ain't Calvin Klein, and it's not somebody, and it's little old Susie Q, somebody that's around the corner that she ain't gotten nowhere yet, and they're not doing nothing in their life, and they're rejecting you, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It ain't relevant.
Yeah.
Because they're not where you are.
Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here right now because of rejection. I'm sitting here right now. They did not want anything to do with this. And now I can't get them to leave me alone.
That's it.
And get it. It's and I tell people, I didn't do this for leverage. This is the career.
That's it.
This is the career.
That's it.
This is not leverage to go to Hollywood. This is my life. This is my job. This right now, what I'm living, like you said, in the moment, this is the career. I don't know what they thought. Oh, well, you did all of that. Now you can come on in. No. My buddy said to me, Vincent McDoon, very famous, he's in fashion in Paris, and he's also TV broadcasting. He's a TV presenter. And like he said to me, he said, when you come here, it's going to be so easy for you to become a famous, wealthy person. He said, you know what's going to happen. Your country is going to call for you then, because then you're their daughter. They want to claim you after somebody has branded you for success in the public eye. I said, well, they're going to have to keep on calling because I'm not coming.
That's it.
I'm not coming. Why? I left because I couldn't work here. I'm not coming back. Every dollar is not a good dollar. I don't want to deal with the mentality, the pain, no. Now you only want to cash in on my moment. And that's the thing. It's a moment. I'm trying to last. Longevity. So do me a favor, Mr. Tapia. Give me 3 words that inspire you.
Perseverance is the first one. Believe.
Yeah.
And trust.
Yeah.
Persevere, believe in yourself, and trust that you have the abilities to make it happen.
Yeah. And it'll happen. And it may not happen when we want it to, but if we keep moving on that road consistently, like you said in the beginning, as long as we're consistent with it, we'll get what we want.
That's it. And if the people are not part of your struggles, I tell people all the time, if you aren't part of my struggles, you can be a part of my success from a distance.
From a distance.
If you weren't in that circle with me when I was going through it, and you weren't a part of my growth, and now you want to reap from my success, no, ma'am.
Nope.
Watch it from a distance, like what you were just hit the door open. Because people want to be able to be like, oh, I'm so proud of you and yada yada yada, but you were not proud of me when I started.
Yeah. And you weren't proud of me the entire time. You talked behind my back.
That's it.
Me and you gonna have to have a conversation. I got people you need to meet. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's end this. But tell everyone, because I'm gonna put the links in the bio section. But tell everyone where they can find you on social media, online, all your handles.
Yes. So my Instagram is Edward _ Tapia fashion model. Edward _ Tapia fashion model on Instagram. On Facebook, I have Mr. Manifestation Ambassador 2021, which is my page there.
Yeah.
And I also have Twitter, which is Joyful Guy 33.
Yeah.
Joyful Guy. I've had that Twitter page for so long. I've never changed it. It's Joyful Guy 33. But I'm really, really, really excited to connect with you all on Instagram, Facebook. Instagram is the biggest, I think, the best place to connect. So that's Edward _ Tapia fashion model. Please connect with me. I like back and I comment back, and I promise I like to connect with people.
Yeah.
That's
You are amazing. So let me end this. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. Edward Tapia. Thank you so much for this. Say, don't you go nowhere. Say bye to them though, so I can.
Bye guys. Bye guys. Bye everybody. Bless.